Thank you for joining us today. I'm David Bodorf, Executive Director of the Association of Indiana Counties. And with us today is Bill Soards. And Bill was named president of AT&T in 2013. He's responsible for external affairs in the state, which includes state and local government relations, community affairs, and legislative activities before the General Assembly and the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. Bill has served on the Indianapolis-Marion City County Council and the Boone County Council. Not very common when you have someone who serves as elected official in two different counties. So I think that speaks to Bill's interest in local government and really supporting his community. So please welcome Bill Soards.
Yeah, thanks, David. I appreciate you allowing me to come today.
So AT&T, I think, has a huge presence in the state and a great history in Indiana. Can you tell us a little bit about what's been happening with AT&T recently?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, David. Well, obviously, we've been investing in Indiana for over 100 years in communications networks. We've invested over $1 billion just in the last 3 years, all across the state in our wired and wireless networks. We've got about 3,000 employees across Indiana, and our external affairs team, Richard Leverett, handles all of our local government issues in northern Indiana, Pepper Mulheron in southern Indiana, and then Matt Long and Steve Rogers through central Indiana. So we've got a great team. We're out talking to your members regularly and increasingly, especially about issues about fiber deployment and broadband availability.
All right. And again, AT&T is very influential at the State House, but they also work with us on a lot of local government issues. So I appreciate everything you all do to support the association and Indiana. One of the topics I wanted to discuss today is AT&T's involvement with FirstNet, which is a great service that contributes to public safety in Indiana and throughout the country. Can you share with us a little bit about FirstNet's history, why it was created, and AT&T's involvement?
FirstNet is the National Public Safety Broadband Network. It has its roots in 9/11. One of the observations on 9/11 during that tragedy was that first responders couldn't talk to each other. They couldn't communicate. First responders used the same cell phones that you and I did until recently. And so the 9/11 Commission issued a series of recommendations, and one of which was that first responders in America needed a dedicated cellular wireless network. Took a few years for Congress to create an agency called the FirstNet Authority and to enact a whole bunch of money to help fuel this new effort. But AT&T won a competitive bid, and so we are the company helping build the FirstNet network across the country and operate it for the next 20 years. And so basically what it means is that police, fire, EMS, EMA, first responders, by and large, and government officials can utilize this network for all of their cellular connectivity. At the county level, it's about commissioners and sheriff's offices. About 2/3 of the sheriff's offices in Indiana have moved over to FirstNet. County highway departments. Basically, if you're a government official that has some sort of role in an emergency, which, as you know, at the local level, it's kind of all hands on deck when a situation arises, you qualify for FirstNet. And today in Indiana, there's over 50,000 first responders using FirstNet. These are dedicated special radio frequencies. Your phone works just like it would on a commercial network, except it's on a dedicated network. That means your phone is going to work when a lot of other phones may not, especially when you're at a Colts game or a natural disaster or some sort of major event. Your traffic, your calls and your texts and your emails get prioritized to make sure that you can communicate with who you need to.
What a great critical service, and so important. And post 9/11, we learned a lot of lessons out of that tragedy. But this sounds like something that really is going to benefit public safety going forward. Another way that AT&T can partner with local units of government is the expansion of fiber or internet service out to people who have struggled to get access previously. What's some of the things AT&T has been doing recently on that front?
Well, I think one of the things that all of us have realized in the last 2 years is just how critical fiber and broadband connectivity has been. And so we're really focused on helping bridge the digital divide, close the homework gap. I think we've realized that the internet's not just for shopping and entertainment. It's about critical life functions. And so, obviously we've been building fiber in Indiana for well over a decade, but historically it's been in the more metropolitan areas, primarily because of funding, right? It's very expensive in more rural areas. All of that's changing. We've got a once in a generation opportunity over the next few years to really make a significant, long-lasting investment in the state of Indiana. ARP dollars, next level connection dollars, the new federal IIJA dollars, the infrastructure bill, and all of that's going to play out over the next few years. But some counties are moving quickly, like Vanderburgh County. We just announced about 2 weeks ago the single largest fiber project in the state. It's a $40 million project where AT&T is going to build fiber to over 20,000 homes, businesses, and farms in the unincorporated areas of Vanderburgh County. The county put out a very broad and bold RFP, and they mentioned publicly that they had over $12 million in ARP. I know a lot of counties aren't that fortunate to have that much money, but a little bit of money can go a long way, especially when companies are willing to match. So Vanderburgh County put in $9.9 million of ARP money. AT&T matched that with $27.9 million. And we've got almost a $40 million project that's going to get completed in 2 years. And Vanderburgh County will be the best connected county in the state. And it's going to be a national model, I think, for local leaders that have a bold vision and a private sector partner that's willing to step up. So we're actively talking to a number of your members around the state about how we can build fiber through some sort of funding partnership with county government.
Yeah, so I'm sure you all have had a lot of conversations with the commissioners down in Vanderburgh County recently because of that process. So can you talk a little bit more about how that process worked and how you all responded to the commissioners?
Yeah, Commissioners Musgrave, Shoulders, and Hatfield had a vision for broadband, and they have for a couple of years. I mean, this has been a bugaboo for local leaders across Indiana for a long time. But they put out a very bold and broad RFP, and they made it known how much money they have available. That gives, I think, the private sector the opportunity to come with creative solutions. They had a very open process. There were 4 providers, I think, that bid on the deal. The Farm Bureau was very active down there, and they're ecstatic about the program as well as we are. And so it's just a matter of having that open dialogue to know what can be possible. And we've had a lot of questions from some of your members in the last few weeks about how can we do what Vanderburgh County did, because it's a transformational project.
And we have a copy of their RFP. So if you haven't seen that and you would like a copy of it, you can contact me and we'll get that out to you. But again, I want to thank Bill for coming over, and again, his partnership with the Association of Indiana Counties and their support of local communities. So appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you, David. Appreciate the opportunity.